about Israeli astronauts, I just need to tell you where the United States is. You know, we have dramatic changes that are about to take place in our human spaceflight program. The number one change will be the end of the space shuttle era. So if everything goes according to schedule and according to plan, when you see the shuttle launch from the Kennedy Space Center next September, that will be the last time you see a space shuttle launch. And it will be the last time in the history of mankind, unless we change our minds, you know, which I don't think is going to happen, that you'll see a vehicle of its capability leave this planet and go into low Earth orbit. And it's significant, the capability that it has and the capability that we're going to lose. You know, we carried a 25,000-pound, and I can't convert it to kilograms for all of you, so somebody else has to do it. Okay, 50,000 kilogram, all right, payload. The Hubble Space Telescope. We could not have done that with any other vehicle. And we won't be able to do that with another vehicle that we have right now. We can take human beings in quantities of 7 at a time to the International Space Station. We don't have that capability, or we won't have that capability for a while after the shuttle is retired. And so we'll be sending them in threes until either American commercial entities or foreign government entities come up with other vehicles that we can use. And so we will be working with Israel and all our partners to determine how we get people into space in the future, who are the appropriate people to fly in space in the future, because I can guarantee you there will be debate as to whether NASA needs to have astronauts. I can just see it coming in the United States. You know, when I wish it were not going to come up, but it will come up. You don't have a space shuttle, you're not flying a vehicle, so why do you need astronauts? I get asked those kinds of questions all the time. So Israel and other partner nations, we will all be sitting around saying, okay, do we really need astronauts? And if we do, what kind of people should they be? And how are we going to get them to where we want them to go? So I would just say stand by. Who will fly to the moon? Hopefully all of us will fly to the moon together. Yes, and I mean that in all sincerity. No matter what the president, no matter what his vision is, or no matter what he tells us, whenever humans go back to the moon, it will be, I believe, it will be an international effort. There are a number of reasons that has to be the case. Flying in space is expensive. Flying in space is risky. Flying in space requires such a broad diversity of skills and talents and capabilities that it is really hard to find a single nation today that brings everything that you need. We can do it, but we may not have the best of a particular capability that's needed to go. And so what I think President Obama wants me to do is work more closely with our international partners, bring in new, what I call non-traditional partners. If you were there when I was showing my slides, you know, of the hundreds of agreements that we have, 50% of them are with 10 nations. And that's okay, but that's not the way that you expose the world to the capabilities of human spaceflight or any kind of space exploration. So we're going to be traveling strange places, you know, and talking to people who otherwise would not have an opportunity to participate in space exploration, who want to do it, but wouldn't have an opportunity. It's like the Israeli Space Agency here in Israel. They go to I mean, as small as Israel is, they have gone to parts of the country and found kids who would have never had an opportunity to participate with a robot, you know, but they go out and they expose kids. And that's what we do. One of my jobs as the NASA administrator, I didn't realize it when I took the job, but is to work in coordination with the Secretary of Defense in protection of the planet. And it means trying to locate and identify things that threaten the planet, be they asteroids or big rocks or what. And we have not done a very good job of that in the past decades because we just didn't pay very much attention to it. If I give you an example of one image that changed everyone's attitude toward that, I don't know how many of you saw the Hubble image of the asteroid that impacted the planet Jupiter and left the big black spot. That big black spot was an unexpected, unscheduled visit by an asteroid to the planet Jupiter, and the spot represented several Earths in diameter. That got everybody's attention all the way up to President Obama because they said, If that could happen and we didn't know it, then maybe we need to spend a little bit more attention thinking about what other kinds of things out there. So I think you will see us devote a little bit more time. I don't know how, I can't state definitively right now how much more money, how much more time or anything, but you're going to see one of the things it will do will be devote more time and energy to understanding near-Earth objects and things that threaten the planet from outside. If I look at what I think is important to the nation of Israel, water is important, crop growth is important, so that says quite naturally that the things that we will want to look at are earth science-related issues, things that serve a societal need for the nation of Israel and also serve a societal need for the United States. Because after all, NASA is it is a U.S. agency, and so while we want to do as much as we can for all of our partners, my first focus has to be on what are the societal needs for the United States. But we have things that are in common. My dream is to go to Mars. I won't make it. Probably. I don't know. Maybe an Israeli astronauts will. But again, if I go back to the question asked about the moon, whenever the people of the planet decide that it's time to go to Mars, I think it will be an international mission. We've got a lot of work to do before we can responsibly send humans to Mars. The biggest challenge right now, there are two big challenges. One is propulsion, and propulsion is a challenge because of the biggest challenge, which is radiation. We don't completely understand the radiation environment between here and Mars, but we know it's bad. And we suspect, based on past experience and the limited data that we have, that if we put humans into a normal spaceship now and have them embark on a 8-month?
Yeah, one-way.
8-month one-way mission to Mars, they're going to die. Unless we spend a lot of money and a lot of metal on tremendous shielding for the vehicle. We know that. So we cannot responsibly put humans in a spacecraft and say next year we're going to send them to Mars. Can we conquer that? Can we overcome that? Yes, we can. I don't know how long it's going to take. So, for people who get excited about whatever they see come out of President Obama's vision, and people who want to say, well, but we're not going to Mars. We didn't say that. We said we're going to Mars. One of these days, people will leave this planet, I think, and go to Mars. But when we do it, it's going to be done responsibly and ethically, and we're going to do it such that they survive and can come home. When you talk about going into low Earth orbit, sending humans to the International Space Station or the like, what you're going to see is what we have said all along. As we phase the space shuttle out and it comes to the end of an era next year or this year or whenever it happens, we have got to find another way to get humans there. And what we're going to focus on, what NASA will focus on is what's the right word? Facilitating the success of, I like to use the term entrepreneurial interests. We have always used commercial space assets to go to space. The space shuttle is a commercial spacecraft. It's originally designed and built by Rockwell of Downey, California, at U.S. government plant number 41 in Palmdale, California. And then the U.S. government wrote a check for $2 billion, and it became ours. But that's and now it's operated by a company called United Space Alliance in conjunction with Boeing and other companies. And if you go to Houston, to Mission Control, or to the Kennedy Space Center Launch Control, and you look at the controllers, unless you walk up and very closely look at their badge, you won't know whether it's a person from Lockheed, from USA, from NASA, because we're completely integrated. We have been for years. So, we need to get a little truth out here. We have been involved in commercial space exploration since I came to NASA, and we will continue to be involved. What's going to change, I think, is that instead of NASA buying a vehicle and then taking over its primary operation, we will buy a service. We'll go out, and whoever charges the best price for a trip to the International Space Station and says we can take an Israeli and an American and an Armenian and somebody else and all these other things, okay, we're going to sign on with you, and they'll provide the vehicle to get us to the International Space Station or somewhere else. We're going to have to adapt to change, and anybody who sits around this table and thinks that my president is going to give his vision for space exploration and give me his budget and thinks that everybody is going to go, oh yeah, okay, let's go do that. Stand back. We don't do things that way. I don't know about other nations, but the president's decision is the beginning of the debate, if I can put it that way. And I think what we're going to do, based on what I know today, is the best thing for the nation and the best thing for the family of spacefaring nations.
Well, I would like to thank you very much for this lot of appreciation, both to Ilan Ramon and to the Israeli Space Plan. And we are looking forward to our fruitful cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thanks so very much.